Number 4. History of India Art. What is art? It is a natural human instinct to want to share his experience, wisdom, and also emotions. When that instinct results in a beautiful creation, it is acknowledged as art. The artist's power of imagination, sensibility, state of emotion, and his skills are the crucial factor of that root of artistic creation. Visual arts and performing arts. Artistic creations are of two types: visual arts and performing arts. The Sanskrit term of the first type is Drikkala, and for the second type, Lalit or Anikala. Many examples of prehistoric rock art have been discovered at many sites in the world. It proves that the origin of visual art is as old as the Stone Age man. Folk arts and classical art. There are two distinct traditions of art: folk art and classical art. Folk art is a tradition that has continued from the prehistoric times. The expression of folk art is a natural part of people's way of living. Hence, its experience spontaneous. Folk art is created by collective participation of the member of social group. Classical art, on the other hand, is expressed within an established frame of constant rules. It needs a prolonged training to master any form of classical art. Style in art. Artists tend to have their own method of working. It is known as the style of artists. When a style is adopted by many artists over a prolonged period of time, it may become a tradition. Such tradition gets established as an art style. Various art styles develop in every culture, which are characteristic of a certain period and region. Such styles are helpful in studying art history. Maratha style of painting. Maratha painting is an example of art style. The style known as Maratha painting began to develop in the later half of the 7th century CE. This style consists of color painting, and they occur as molds and miniatures used in manuscripts. Molds of Maratha style can be seen in the old vadas at places like Vai, Minavali, and Satara in Maharashtra. The Maratha style was influenced by the Rajput and European styles of painting. Painting styles help us in understanding various things about the times in which it was developed, such as lifestyle, arteries, customs, etc. Indian traditions of visual arts. Drikkala. The art of painting and sculpting are visual arts. Art of painting. Paintings are two-dimensional. For example, sketches or painting of nature, objects and individuals. They are done on various surfaces such as rock, walls, papers, clays of different types and earthen pots. The mool of Bodhisattva at Ajanta caves is one of the finest examples of art of painting. Folk styles of painting. Rock paintings dating to Stone Ages have been discovered in many countries. In India, there are rock painting sites in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. The rock paintings in the caves at Bhimbedka are famous. Bhimbedka is World Heritage Site. Rock paintings usually depict human, animal, minimal geometric figures. However, the style of rock painting seems to be changing according to cultural changes from Stone Age to being on agriculture. The changes is visible in the depiction of flora and fauna, or it may be evident in the style of portraying various figures and also in the colors that were used. Black, red, and white colors were used in the rock painting, which were made from natural substances. With the help of rock paintings, we can understand the knowledge of ancient people about their natural surroundings and also the way they exploited available natural resources. The tradition of flock style of painting closely resembles the style of rock paintings. Customs such as decorating the house's walls and courtyards, rangwali by drawing various figures and symbols or using panels of painting to narrate stories help develop regional styles of flock painting. Do you know the traditions of Vali painting and Pingyul or Chitrakatha in Maharashtra are among the finest examples of flock style of painting. Jivya Somyam Mahashe, the artist in Thane district, has played a great role in making the Varli style of painting very popular. He has been honored with the number of national and international awards for his paintings. In the year 2011, he was awarded Padma Shri. It is interesting to know the tradition of Chitrakatha is mentioned in Manasolas, a book written by Chalukya king Someshwar in 12th century CE. It confirms the antiquity of this tradition. The traditions of narrating stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata with the help of wooden puppets and painting is known as Chitrakatha or Pingyoli tradition. The people whose style practice the art of Pingyoli live in the village called Pingyoli. The people whose style practice the art of Pingyul live in a village called Pingyuli. They belong to Thakar tribal community. It is located in the Konkan region near Kudal. The Chitrakatha pictures are drawn on a paper and painted in colors made from natural substances. It takes 30 to 50 pictures to complete the narration of single story. These pictures are preserved very carefully and handed down from one generation to another. The artists and the government are trying to preserve the tradition, which is one of the verge of extinction. Classical styles of painting. The ancient Indian texts have explained various aspects of art in great detail. There are altogether 64 arts mentioned in this text. The art of painting is mentioned as Alakyam or Alakya Vidya in this. It is said to have six many aspects. The ancient Indian scholars studied these six aspects very minutely. They include Rupabhed, different shapes and forms. Praman, propine description of various features of image. Bhav, expression, Lavanya Yogi Jana, aesthetic, Sadrushata, a resemblance to relative, Vadika Banga, color composition. Agama texts of various religious texts, Purans and Vastu Shastra texts explain the arts of painting and sculpturing in the context of temple architecture. Miniature paintings in manuscripts. The miniature paintings in the early manuscripts shows an influence of Persian style. The Deccan miniature style was developed under the patronage of Deccan Sultans. During the reign of Akbar, the Mughal emperor, the Mughal miniature style showing a blend of Indian and Persian style was developed. Western style of painting. In the British period, Indian artists come under the influence of European style of painting. An art school was established under the leadership of James Wall, a Scottish artist, in the times of Savai Madhavrao Peshwe in Shaniwar Wada in Pune. He had done a portrait of Savai Madhavrao and Nana Fadangis. Gangaram Tambas, a Maratha artist who worked with Wallis, deserves a special mention here. He had made drawings of the rock-cut caves at Berur and Karli. Some of his drawings are preserved in the Yale Center of British Art of Yale University. Exact portrayal of the object of the painting is characteristic of European style. A number of renowned artists were trained in the JJ School of Art and Industry, which was established in 1857 CE, offering courses in European style of painting. Pestonji, Bowmanji and alumni of this school made replace of Argenta painting. Sculptural art. Sculptures are three-dimensional, such as images, statues, pots and objects with artist embellishment. For creating sculptures, either rock or metal or clay is used. Rock sculptures are made by carving, metal sculptures are made with the help of molds, and clay sculptures are formed either directly with hands by using molds. The entire temple of Kailas at Verur is a unique monolithic sculpture carved out of a single rock. The lion capital of the Ashokan Pillars found at Saransk is a national emblem of India. Block style sculpture art. The sculpture art is also ancient as the art of painting, dating back to the Stone Age. Carving tools out of stone can said to be beginning of sculptural art. The custom of making clay images for rituals has been prevalent in India since Harappan times. It has continued till today. Regions like Bengal, Bihar, Gujarat, Rajasthan, etc. The Ganesh idols, mask of Gauri, wolf figurines made for the festival of Baid Pola, wooden memorial stone, the decorated clay storage bins, etc. are few examples of folk traditions of sculpture art. Classical styles of sculpture art. The Harappan cells, stone and bronze statues tell us about the 5,000-year-old or even older tradition of the Indian tradition of sculptural art. It is said that the tradition of carving out stone sculpture of large size began in the Mauryan period with the Ashokan Pillars. The Sanchi Stup was erected in Emperor Ashoka's time. However, the beautiful sculpture embellishment of the stup are supposed to be later additions. The sculptures at Bhuj are testimonies of the continuous development of sculptural art in India. Buddhism was spread far and wide in many countries outside India. The tradition of erecting Buddhist stupas began in those countries as well as the stupa at Borobudur in Indonesia is the largest stupa in the world. It was built during the 8th-9th century CE. It was declared as the World Heritage Site in 1991. Indian Iconography. The Gandharva school of art came into being in the 2nd century BCE in Afghanistan and neighboring regions. It had Greek and Parthian influence. The first 3rd century, that is the Kushan period, saw the rise of Mathura school of art. The Mathura school laid the foundation of Indian iconography. Iconography is a branch of knowledge which includes everything about making of images of God and Goddess. Kings made use of images of various deities on their coins. During the period of Gupta Empire, of iconographic rules were formulated and standards for the sculptural art were set. The art of making bronze images was developed under the patronage of Chola kings during 9th-13th century. Bronze idols of gods and goddesses like Shiv Parvati, Nataraj Lakshmi, Vishnu, etc. were made in this period. Indian traditions of performing arts. Indian traditions of performing folk art. India has independent and varied traditions of folk song, folk instrumental music, folk dance and folk theatre, which are characteristic of every particular region. There exist many rich traditions of performing folk art in Maharashtra also. They developed as an integral part of the religious festivals and social life. To name a few as examples, we may mention Koli dance, Tarpa dance, Dashavtar of Konkan, Povada, Kirtan, Dagar Gondhar, etc. The ruler of Bijapur, Ibrahim Adil Shah II, wrote a text in Parsi language entitled Kitab-e-Navrat. This text is about Indian classical music. It includes verse, song in the Drupad style and enables the audience to experience joy of excellent poetry. Dr. Arun Prabhadurin has edited this text in Marathi. The translation of verse printed on the cover of this text reads as follows. O Mother Saraswati, you are the dawn light of the world and you are complete with all qualities. If Ibrahim receives your grace, the poetry of the Navrat will become internal. Art, applied art and professional opportunities. Arts. Art history is an independent branch of knowledge. Various opportunities of research are valuable in this field. 1. Art historians can work in the field of journalism. 2. Art market is an independent field. It calls for special experts to assess the exact value of an art object or to ensure that it is genuine. An expert with deep understanding of art history is required for his task. Heritage management and cultural tourism are recently developed fields. In this field, students of art can find many professional opportunities. Museums and archives management, library science and information technology, archaeological research, Indology are some important fields in this regard. Applied art. The visual and performing arts are primarily looked upon as the means of entertainment for people. The artist performs primarily with this purpose. However, there is a scope to combine an artistic creation with utility value to make it economically valuable. Thus, an artistic creation with an utilitarian purpose is called applied art. 1. Industry and advertisement. Entire design and production of ornamental objects, art design of stage backdrops, art direction for films and television, creating attract layouts of books, magazines, calligraphy, production of greeting cards, invention cards, customized stationery, gift objects, etc. are the fields of applied art. 2. The field of architecture, photography are also part of applied art. Nowadays, still and animated graphics created with the help of computers are used for various purposes. This is also applied art. Ornaments, artistic creation of metal, earthen pots with colorful designs, objects made from can and bamboo, beautiful glass objects, attractive textiles and clothing, etc. all can be listed under applied art. Every field mentioned above requires a detailed planning and meticulous management at every stage of production. It is essential to employ trained and skilled individuals at every stage. Some of the production process of artistic objects, history of certain traditions. The development of each productive process has its own history. Hence, the syllabus of training course of art design include the history of various industrial and cultural traditions. There are a few institutions in India which offers technical and occupational training in the above mentioned fields. Among them, National Institute of Design in Ahmedabad, Gujarat is a world-renowned institute. This institute has introduced an online course since 2015. In the next lesson, we will learn about mass media and history.